Business Central has several options to analyze WIP. Now, the first one we already looked at. So if you open a job card, remember there's the WIP and recognition fast tab to analyze WIP that is already calculated but not yet posted to the GL or already posted to the general ledger. But you can also run some job-related reports. And to have an overview of all the reports that we have in Business Central, I think it's very easy to click here on Explore All Business Features and then Explore All. So this is showing all the application areas we have in Business Central, and here we see the project or the jobs application area, and with all the functions and the features that we can use, and here also all the reports that we have available. And for example, one of the WIP related reports is Job WIP to GL. So if I run the report for the job that already has WIP posted to the general ledger, so this one for example, you get a simple but a very efficient report that shows the GL accounts, job sales, jobs cost applied, that have been posted to with all the amounts. So that could be interesting. But for me, one of the most useful features to analyze WIP is the job WIP page, also called the job WIP cockpit. So if you search for job WIP, there we go, you will see a page with all the jobs, and here with all the different WIP amounts that you also see on the WIP and recognition fast tab of each job. And so instead of having to scroll through all the different jobs from one to the other, here you get a general overview, which also makes it very easy to compare jobs. For example, here you can see the two jobs that are using percentage of completion, but you can see the difference between both. So the first one already has WIP posted to the GL, while this one only has calculated WIP and not posted to the GL yet. You see, so you get a very good overview of several jobs at the same time. So for a job that has WIP calculated but not posted to the general ledger yet, you can see here the job WIP totals at the bottom. And so there you can analyze the WIP for your task lines. And here, if you scroll to the right, you can see the percentage completed and invoiced and the recognized sales and cost amount. So that's for this job, but also for the other jobs for which we already calculated WIP that is not posted to the GL yet. Now you might wonder why Business Central only shows task number 200 and not 100. Well, that's for this reason. Let me go to the job task lines. So what you will see if you calculate WIP is that the program automatically enters the WIP total here in the job task lines to group job tasks for WIP calculation purposes, you see. So this means now that these two lines are grouped and that Business Central calculates the WIP for both lines at the same time. So and for that reason, because this line has the WIP total set to total, this is the one that is displayed here in the job WIP totals page. All right. Okay, but besides that, also very interesting on this page are the functions that you can run. Of course, if you click on process, you can run both functions that we already saw, like calculate WIP, post WIP to GL, and so on. But you can also delete WIP entries, you can recalculate WIP, you can go to the statistics. If there are any warnings, you can look at the warnings, and so on. So and one of the interesting features here is, in my opinion, the delete WIP entries. Now suppose that after calculating the WIP for this job, for example, I realize that we have used the wrong WIP method. So instead of cost of sales, it should have been cost value, for example. Now you can change the WIP method at any time, but only when there are no WIP entries for the job. Now this job has WIP entries, so what you can do now is click on process and delete these WIP entries. So and after confirming this, there you go, everything is deleted. As you can see, you can now go to the job. So Let me open the job card. And let's go to the edit mode. Now I can change the WIP method. So for example, to cost value. And so it will ask for confirmation. So let's click on yes. So that's done. And now you can, of course, recalculate the WIP. So I can click here on process and calculate WIP. So only for this job. Okay, so everything is successfully calculated and we don't need to see the entries. And you can now see the result here. And by the way, the result is the same because we didn't post any additional consumption or invoice to the customer. But again, this was just to show you that you can quite easily delete WIP entries, then change the WIP method if necessary, and then recalculate the WIP entries. So these are some of the things that you can do on the job WIP page, or as we also call it, the job WIP cockpit.